They say I'm very organized, but I just like planning, and I value detail.
I consider myself practical, so I do not get too involved with details. I like challenges, and when I asked in social networks what would be the ideal route, there were many comments indicating the Portuguese Coastal Way.
I've been preparing this journey for some time. After a friend suggested I walk the Caminho de Santiago, the Way of St. James. When I was researching what would be the best route, I discovered the Pilgrim's Guide to the Portuguese Coastal Way.
I downloaded the application to my mobile phone, and it was easy to follow all the recommendations for this adventure.
The train takes me to one of the most beautiful railway stations, right in the heart of the city of Porto. In an old monastery, the São Bento station was inaugurated in the early 20th century. It has a fantastic set of tile panels with references to the history of Portugal. Porto is a city full of lights and sound which characterize the historic center, with unique corners to explore. The 12th century Romanesque style cathedral has undergone changes in different times until the Baroque, but has never lost its medieval mark. This is where the Portuguese Coastal Way starts. The Ribeira, with the Dom Luís Bridge, in prominence over the River Douro, has been an important commercial route, open to the world since Roman times. The palace of the Viscondes de Balsemão witnesses my passage on this route, and the next days will be of great discovery.
I land at Francisco Sá Carneiro Airport in the municipality of Maia, considered the best medium-sized airport in Europe. Maia is a modern city with unique experiences linked to culture, leisure, and heritage. Right next to the statue of Gonçalo Mendes da Maia, the Knight of the Foundation of Portugal, we can find the Lidadores Tower. In addition to the exhibits, one can experience the spectacular balcony view, Maia 360 degrees, at 92 meters high. From here, I'm able to contemplate the landscape of the path that waits me. But first, I should visit the Zoological Park of Maia, a landmark in the defense of nature, with pedagogical actions all year long and with more than 600 animals of 200 species. Several churches in Maia have beautiful facades covered with blue and white tiles with multiple patterns. The Church of São Salvador da Moreira da Maia, founded in the 11th century, is currently a fine example of Mannerist architecture. The Quinta da Gruta Environmental Education Complex, a green space with a community strategy full of projects such as the vegetable garden at your door. What a smell.
The Padrão da Légua in Matosinhos divides the central path from the coastal path. The Camino guidebook indicates the coastal route, so I take the opportunity to get to know the city. The parish church of Santiago de Custóias was built in the 18th century by order of the monastery of Lessa, whose oracle is Santiago Maior. Every year, on the 25th of July, the festivities are celebrated in honor of the apostle in the Largo do Soto, a lush park, confluence of many paths. I reached the famous 10th century Lessa do Balio monastery, the first headquarters of the Order of Knights Hospitaller, a fantastic example of Portuguese Gothic, donated by Dona Teresa. The climate is also part of the Camino. Fortunately, the route guide is complete, giving advice to the pilgrim. At the boundary of the Lessa monastery, the sun has already enlightened the Gothic bridge of Goimil, built by the Order of the Hospitaller Knights, and for many centuries the most important passage on the River Lessa.
The Ornithological Reserve in Mindelo is a privileged habitat for more than 150 species of birds, a time travel to the first pilgrimages. Right in the center of an urbanistic complex rich in Manueline-style architecture is the Church of Azurara. For centuries, to cross the River Ave was only possible by boat, whose rights belonged to the old convent of Santa Clara. Currently, this austere building is a reference point of the city for those who cross the busy bridge.
Olá, boa tarde.
Olá, muito boa tarde. Está à procura de um local para dormir?
Sim, mas eu primeiro gostava de dar uma voltinha pela cidade.
Com certeza.
Será que podia deixar aqui a minha mochila?
Claro que sim, pode colocá-la mesmo aqui ao pé de mim.
Obrigada.
The most extensive Portuguese aqueduct, with 4 kilometers long, was built in the beginning of the 18th century to bring water to São Francisco Monastery. In Paços do Concelho Vila do Conde, the Manueline Pillory, with its coat of arms, is a symbol of municipal jurisdiction. Right next to it, the Gothic base Matriz Church features a beautiful Baroque portico. The replica of the 16th century now, as well as the unusual chapel Nossa Senhora do Socorro, with its unique dome, are proof of the apogee of the Portuguese maritime trade.
I reach an important crossroad in the center of the city of Póvoa de Varzim. In the 15th century, with the discovery of an image of Santiago on the beach, the invocation of the cult of St. Roque Chapel changed. The Confraria de Santiago was erected. I walk through the busy commercial area leading to the fortress of Nossa Senhora da Conceição, constructed for the protection of maritime activity in the 18th century. It is well known that Póvoa de Varzim has always been linked to the sea, fishing, cabotage, and shipbuilding. The ocean connects with the city with a vast sandy beach that borders the whole coastal county. The modest chapel of Santo Andrea in Aveiro Mar indicates the way to the boulder that, according to the legend, holds the saint's foot on the rock. From here, I can see the whole beach and the sand dune walkways of Aguçadora. The road dresses up with a new landscape.
I entered the county of Esposende, where I tried the famous clarinhas de fão, a sweet stop full of chila. Satisfied, I reached Barca do Lago. I discovered that the first references to the boat date back to 1560, in the passage of pilgrims to the other bank of the River Cavado. A fantastic experience.
Bom dia.
Bom dia, tudo bem?
Tudo bem?
É para atravessar?
Eu gostava. É
Venha,
possível?
é possível.
Ah, obrigada. Com licença.
The number of references to the path are in perfect harmony with the landscape, easily guiding the pilgrim. In the center of Esposende, the Misericordia Church from the 16th century has two Baroque gold-carved altars that illuminate the whole interior. I stamped the pilgrim's passport and continued the journey. The sunshine tilts as if a wake-up call. The albergue of São Miguel de Marinhas, an old country house with all the amenities, offers all the necessary tranquility and support.
Just a little bit tired.
In the municipality of Viana do Castelo, the layout of an old Roman road has remained unchanged until the present. As well as the church of Castelo do Neiva, the oldest temple devoted to Santiago. Its origins date back to 862, shortly after the discovery of the Apostle tomb. The Royal Road route emphasizes old medieval paths outlined by ancient Roman roads, taking me through churches and prayer chapels to Santiago. At the Lima River, the old pier used for crossing the river, next to the São Lourenço Chapel, is one of the perfect places to contemplate the beautiful city of Viana do Castelo. Currently, the pedestrian way to cross the river is by the Eiffel Bridge, an important work of 1878, which can also be crossed by road and rail. The República Square is an obligatory passage to contemplate its fountain and the Misericordia old buildings. Next to the old town hall, the Costume Museum, an important collection of Minho ethnography. The way now goes between walls and farms, a route of bucolic beauty.
In the municipality of Caminha, in Vila Praia de Âncora, I discovered the Dolmen da Barrosa, megalithic monument with more than 5,500 years old. Summer zone par excellence, full of history, like the fort of Lagarteira, the fenced structure of this fishing village. From Moledo, I can see the Fort de Insua, an old convent built in the 14th century and later transformed into a fortress in the 17th century. The river mouth, Foz do Minho, and the Camarido National Forest, a dune court ordered to be planted by King Dom Dinis in the 13th century, announces a new transformation in the landscape of the Caminho upstream. From the clock tower in the center of the village, I observe the entire surrounding historic center, where I can experience the excellence of regional gastronomy.
Bom apetite e um bom caminho.
Muito obrigada, assim espero.
I take a break from the route and venture myself through Serra d'Arga, place of natural beauty, religious heritage, such as the monastery of São João d'Arga, a unique landscape within the reach of the pilgrim spirit.
Casa de obrigação para passageiros e mendigos que nela quiserem dormir. Meaning, house for passengers and beggars who need a place to sleep, was thus declared in 1666, the use of the Paço do Hotel, currently Hotel Boega, an ideal place for a stop in the municipality of Vila Nova de Cerveira.
Que tal? Está a correr o caminho?
Está a correr bem, mas é cansativo.
É normal, faz parte, não é?
Já agora, onde é que eu posso descansar um bocadinho?
Nós temos um bar de apoio à piscina, que é o sítio ideal para descansar.
Obrigado. Obrigado.
I continue along old paths where granite predominates. Between houses and farms, the well-marked way leads me to the heart of the village. Cerveira, the village of arts, with its centre full of artistic interventions, hosts the oldest biannual international arts festival of the Iberian Peninsula. The crowning jewel of Vila Nova de Cerveira is its Romanesque castle, built in 1321, with a very important defensive role in the history of both countries. From here, I can see the Ponte da Amizade, or Friendship Bridge, which connects Portugal to Galicia, one of the possibilities to cross to the other shore. From the top of the Serra da Gávea, at the Servo Rei, Belvedere, where the sculpture of the master José Rodrigues stands, I can admire the most beautiful painting over the Minho River.
Valença is where the Central Way meets up with the Coastal Way, with multiple Jacobean marking. To cross the Coastal Way here is to emerge in the magic of Caminhos de Santiago, like the eco-trail Veiga de Mira's biotype, considered to be one of the best greenways in Europe. To visit Valença's fortress is to go through the memories of 2,000 years of history of Portugal and Spain, engraved in granite stones. Its streets and houses fill the 5 kilometers of walls, a 17th century military architecture jewel. In the last meters of the Portuguese coastal Camino, it's time to regain strength in the cozy albergue Santo Eutónio, the first Portuguese saint and patron of the city.
Adeus. Obrigada por tudo.
At the entrance to the Praça Forte in Valença, I recall all the memories of the Portuguese coastal way, a unique journey of encounter with heritage.
I miss what was left behind already, but it's the singularity of the coastal Camino that gives me the motivation to know other paths, also full of surprises and enchantment.
I feel that there is a lot more to know and discover, and other pilgrims with experiences to share.
I will probably meet other pilgrims with a whole path to discover.
Descobre o teu caminho.